Alrighty then. Yesterday, the the NFL season started off with the Texans versus the Chiefs. Chiefs won. Spoiler alert. Sorry, should have said that before, but 34-20. So all seems fine and dandy, right? Sports coming back, even though with the coronavirus, football is a big part of this country. It's the biggest sport, brings a lot of people together. People are united, and they love watching their teams. It's a very great part of the culture. However, the BLM movement and liberal agenda has slid in even further than it already had been inside of the NFL. And here's an article that I found called Miami Dolphins to Remain in Locker Room During National Anthem in Protest of NFL's Empty Gestures. Oh, gee. And the NFL team announced their decision in a video reciting a poem. So we're going to check out the video. We're going to go through the article, and then I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on what this is about. So story at a glance, it says, demonstrating against systemic racism in the U.S., the Miami Dolphins will wait in the locker room during the national anthem. Again, we haven't seen systemic racism being pointed out to us. No one could give an example of a system-caused racist approach to conducting business whatsoever in the modern era. Obviously, there are things in the past that everyone's obviously has to account for, and things have progressed a ton to help end those things as people have come to understand that humans are equal and we all deserve the same rights. But for some reason, they still believe that this is a systemic problem when they can't point out a single point of it. And I think the irony here is that if you look at the NFL, you have a lot of black people in the NFL making millions of dollars playing a sport, but yet they're oppressed. It just blows my mind. Each player discusses systemic racism in the U.S. So the article goes on to say, the Miami Dolphins have decided to stay indoors instead of heading to the field for the pregame national anthem before their debut against the New England Patriots this weekend. Interesting. Okay. So nothing like, so you're going to protest the country that's allowing you the opportunity with your freedom to basically earn millions of dollars playing your sport, and you're going to protest that because you're somehow oppressed. Interesting. I've heard people argue, oh no, they're just using it. It's not them that they're trying to fight for. It's for others because they have a platform. They're using it for that. Okay, well, I guess we'll get into that. It continues. The Dolphins plan to stay in the locker room during the anthem as a protest against what they call the NFL's empty gestures regarding civil rights and the Black Lives Matter movement. What else? What's the NFL supposed to do? I mean, are they not, bringing in players of minority communities all the time? Is that not happening? Are they not taking minorities and turning them into multimillionaires that could effectively change their family tree and for generations? Is that not occurring? I mean, what other gestures do you want? What do you want the NFL to do? Aside from what they're already doing to help minorities. ESPN analyst Jay Williams posted a video featuring Dolphins head coach Brian Flores and multiple players such as Byron Jones, Ted Karras, and Kyle Van Noy, reciting a spoken word poem confirming that they will stay inside rather than participate in the pregame ceremony. Okay, well, here's the video, so we're going to check it out. Let's see what they had to say from the Miami Dolphins.
Is it authentic? That's the mystery.
Or is it just another symbolic victory?
Now there's two anthems. Do we kneel? Do we stand?
If we could just right our wrongs, we wouldn't need two songs.
If we could just right our wrongs, we wouldn't need two songs. What wrongs? Hopefully you get into that. What wrongs? See, that's the thing that I've noticed with these arguments from the left is they never give examples. They just throw out a narrative. Everyone bites onto it. There's no critical thinking. There's zero analysis. There's there's no sense of deductive reasoning or using data to try and solidify these claims. You know what I mean? All right, let's hopefully there's an example here.
We don't need another publicity parade.
So we'll just stay inside
Until it's time to play the game.
Whatever happened to the funds that were promised?
Okay, hold on real quick. So you're going to stay inside to protest the national anthem, but you'll go out and play because you need that money, right? You need to make the money. So If you're really in line with this, why don't you just not play? Why don't you use the platform to not make millions of dollars playing this game? Why do you just not go for the national anthem, make your little political statement, and then not actually have any skin in the game? You then go out and play your game as if, it doesn't matter.
All of a sudden, we got a collapsed pocket.
The bottom line should not be the net profit. You can't open your heart when it's controlled by your wallet.
Decals and patches.
Fireworks and trumpets.
We're not puppets.
Don't publicize false budgets.
What? What do you mean you're not puppets? Are they using you to go against BLM, or are they having you play the game like what you've been hired to do? I don't know. So far, this is just a bunch of words jumbled together, and it makes absolutely no sense. This is not a coherent argument whatsoever. And the sad thing is they're all looking at the camera saying this. It looks willful. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look like they're about to lose any sort of contract if they don't participate. It's like, how do you say this stuff without thinking and believing it? But I guess that's the thing, you know what I mean? You're not hired to think about political things. You're hired to play the game. You're hired to be entertainment. You're not hired to deal with these situations. But yet you're trying to put yourself out there as if you're qualified. And you're clearly not, because you have zero understanding of how any of this stuff works with just what you're saying.
Ask the pundits, and we shouldn't have a say.
If you speak up for change, then I'll shut up and play.
If we remain silent, that would just be selfish.
Since they don't have a voice, we're speaking up for the helpless.
Okay, if you don't speak, if you shut up, or if you speak up, we'll shut up and play. About what? What is the NFL supposed to do about public policy and these systems that you say are racist, when the NFL is like a beacon of light that's shining in the face of BLM to showcase how minorities are not oppressed and how they have tons of opportunity when they can come into professional sports and dominate, absolutely demolish the demographics and overrepresent because of their ability to perform at athletic elite levels. They're able to perform at such a high level that they are an elite above anybody else, outperform them, and do the task at such a superior level that they are paid millions of dollars to then represent these brands and perform in these athletic events. All right, let's see what else happens.
It's not enough to act like you care for the troops.
Millions for pregame patriotism. You get paid to salute.
Lift every voice and sing.
It's just a way to save face.
Lose the mask and stop hiding the real game face.
So if my dad was a soldier, but the cops killed my brother, do I stand for one anthem? And
okay, so now you're saying that, okay, people say troops have died for your freedom and you're protesting. I mean, that's a valid argument. It's not, well, you think America's not threatened ever? You think every time we fought, it was because we're an imperialistic overreach trying to dominate the world? You don't think any of that had to do with defense and defending our freedom and our right to be a country with the stated set of beliefs that we stand for, our core principles as a nation? You don't believe in that. But then you're going to say, oh, my brother got killed by the cops. I doubt it. 220 police officer shootings on blacks is the national average annually. 222 out of over 44 million black Americans, half of which, over 22, are male. So 222 out of 222 million. It is statistically unlikely that a family member of yours has been shot by police.
then kneel for the other.
This attempt to unify only creates more divide.
So we'll skip this song and dance.
And as a team, we'll stay inside.
We need changed hearts, not just a response to pressure.
Enough. No more fluff and empty gestures.
We need owners with influence and pockets bigger than ours.
To call up officials.
And flex political power.
So you want NFL team owners to contact Senate, House Representative members, and influence them to push your narrative that is factually, it can be proven to be a false narrative. Time and time again. It's completely, everything about this police brutality and minorities being attacked and murdered in the streets en masse like it's a genocide. It's just false. And it's been proven over and over again. And even with proof in your face, you're still like, no, I'm not going to listen to facts. I'm not going to listen to truth. I want to believe in my fantasy land and then stand up. You know why? Because it feels good to think that you're morally superior. That's why. It feels good to have everyone praise you for acting as if you're better than everyone else. That's what this is about. It's about feeling better than everyone and then you feeling this sense of pride like, oh, I did the right thing by standing up to evil. But the evil thing that you're fighting is invisible. It's fake.
When education is not determined by where we reside.
And we have the means to purchase what the doctor prescribed.
And you fight for prison reform and innocent lives. And you repair the communities that were tossed to the side.
Okay, so now we're talking about medicine. I personally think that medicine is just overpriced. I think there definitely needs to be something that occurs there, but it's definitely not from government regulation. That's not the fix. That having public healthcare paid for by tax money, that's not the answer. A free market is the answer, honestly, because if you have free markets competing, it'll naturally drive prices down. You get all the insurance nonsense out of the game, and you stop taking away, and you just start taking away like that whole like having to sign up at certain times of the like. Just remove all that. Have a free market. It's more complicated than that, but it's definitely not. The solution is definitely not increasing taxes and then lowering the quality care. You ever been to the DMV? You want your medicine to be like that? No, I don't. And then prison reform. Okay, what's the reform? A for-profit institution that's incentivized to have more people inside of it. Okay, I think there's a conversation to be had there about how to maybe, I don't know, fix that or have conversations about it. But is this the place to do that? Not sure.
And you admit you gained from it and you swallowed your pride.
And when greed is not the compass, but love is the guide.
And when the courts don't punish skin color, but punish the crime.
Courts punish skin color. So you're telling me there's a penal code somewhere in a state legislation that says when you're looking at the minimum and maximum punishments for the crime committed when someone's been convicted, you're telling me there's like categorical boxes for race, for ethnicity? And it's bull. This is bull. It's been proven time and time again. It's not the skin color. It's how many times have you been in that courtroom for offenses? That matters. Your first time versus your 30th time. There is a big difference on how these are carried out. And then they said earlier about rebuilding communities. Well, look at the communities that are struggling the most. They're all ran by Democrats. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, they're fighting for Democrats to give Democrats more power, to give the left more power and then tax people so they have more money when they've clearly proven that they cannot do anything of value to these communities that they're saying they're trying to help. It's just, it makes absolutely no sense.
Until then, we'll just skip the long production and stay inside.
For centuries, we've been trying to make you aware.
Either you're in denial.
Whoa, for centuries. You try to make for centuries. And this is not true. That's just not true. The NFL isn't even centuries old. And people that were in positions where they were oppressed, a lot of them weren't in a position where they were like in your position now, where you're a massive multimillionaire that's extremely successful, that has the public eye shining on them. And you're talking about the same country and government that ended slavery has free markets, entrepreneurship, the capitalistic system. It's allowed more people to flourish in a society of humans that's unprecedented. That's what you're fighting against and saying that you've been fighting against for centuries. The country's not even 3 centuries old. So, I mean, explain that one.
Or just simply don't really care.
It's not a black-white thing.
Or a left-right thing.
Let's clean the whole bird.
And stop arguing about which wing.
Before the media starts wondering and guessing, they just answered all your questions. We'll just stay inside.
It's cringe. It's really cringe. It's just so cringy. And then you get stuff like this. Check this out. They put end racism in the end zone for the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at this, end racism. It takes all of us. How is the NFL the appropriate place to be pushing political narratives, false political narratives? I get it. It's a platform. It's the most watched sport. It's a huge part of American society. It's our culture. It makes sense that if you're going to try and brainwash and indoctrinate people, that you do it on a platform that has this much exposure to the common person. It just seems highly inappropriate. It's completely against the nature of the event, and it's all based off false premises. It's just, oh my goodness. I don't when is this stuff going to end? It probably won't. But hey, we got to deal with it. And as long as you see it for what it is, then, I mean, who knows? It's highly disrespectful that these entitled millionaires are going against the people that have fought for them to have the right to even do what they do. But you have the freedom to protest. So if this is your protest, I think it's silly, but you have a right to do it. It's just unfortunate that you're doing it based on lies. Anyways, that's all I got for this. So until next time, God bless.